So I didn't touch the bag because they had somebody else clothes in that bag that they killed. They tried to set me up with a whole entire murder scene. And if I would have touched that bag and opened it up and touched my hands on those clothes, I would have been arrested for a murder. And I thank God for him allowing me not to touch that bag. He allowed my heart to race and for me to back up. So then shortly after, finally, two police officers came to escort me back to the Covenant House. But I told them since I came to the police station, I cannot go back to the Covenant House because that's one of their policies. You cannot call the police. So that's one of their policies. They tell you that during when you get processed in, they tell you that you're not allowed to call the police because that they can handle everything that goes on in there. So you can't call law enforcement. And if you call law enforcement, you will have no place to go. So I told them I couldn't go back to the place, and that's when they were going to take me to another shelter. And I did not want to go back to the Coven House anyways because I felt unsafe there. So then that's when the lady took my statement and gave it to the other people in the bag. So after she came back out, I told them, I said, this is not my, I said, this is my bag, but I said, this is not my clothes in his bag. I said, I did not touch it. She was like, well, just don't touch it. She had an attitude with me. And so I was like, I just want to make sure that you guys are real officers because I've been through so much this whole entire day, starting with last night. She was like, yes, ma'am, we are real officers. Here's our badge number. We got a camera and this is our police cars for that. You're going to get in the back and there's cameras in there. I was like, okay, all right, cool. My heart was racing. Like, y'all, I was so scared. So then that's when they finally arrived at the Covenant House. That was my been about 5 minute drive. So we arrived at the Covenant House and I was trying to tell them in the car that they're not allowed to go in there because nobody can go in there but us. And that's when they were ignoring me, like they were trying to not listen to me at all. So I just left it alone. And so we arrived there, and when we arrived there, she pressed the buzz on the window and then she just grabbed that doorknob and opened, not doorknob, she grabbed the handle, twisted and opened it as if she could like go in there like with no problem. And I'm like, okay, she can go in there. So when we got in there, that's when I noticed the cameras were always pointing at our rooms. The cameras were always pointing in the hallways, watching us, everything, our every move. The cameras were always watching. But when I got in there, the cameras swapped. So I looked at the TV and I noticed that the cameras were pointing outside. That was so strange. Like when I tell y'all, I was even more shooken up because I'm like, they're trying to hide something. What are they really trying to hide? And then that's when Mr. Ty told the officer, he said, we're not holding her hostage or anything. She could leave if she wants to. And then the officer didn't say anything. And then that's when the officer asked me what was my belongings. I said upstairs. And then that's when one of the staff members asked me, did I want to go upstairs to get my stuff? I said no. I said, y'all can bring it down here to me. And that's when I noticed one of the other staff ladies, she was like kind of the head person. She looked through the little crack of the window. Y'all know those little windows they have on the teacher room door? That's what they had there. She looked through that door and she waved at me like,